Stop scrolling right now, because if you care about money, stimulus updates, or what could happen next in Washington, this is something you don't want to miss. A major shift involving the Supreme Court has sparked fresh nationwide discussion, and suddenly the possibility of $2,000 stimulus checks is back in the spotlight. Yes, you heard that correctly. After months of uncertainty and silence, new developments are reigniting conversations that millions of Americans thought were long over. And whether you support it, doubt it, or are just curious, this update could matter more than you think. What changed? Why is this topic resurfacing now? And most importantly, does this mean payments could actually move forward, or is this just another wave of headlines creating confusion? In this video, I'm breaking everything down in simple, clear language. No complicated legal talk, no confusing jargon. Just the facts, the context, and what it could realistically mean for you and your family. Because when it comes to money, timing is everything. One ruling, one clarification, one policy shift can completely change the direction of the conversation. Stay with me, because the details are crucial, and the implications could surprise you. If you want honest updates, real explanations, and the latest stimulus news explained clearly, make sure you hit the like button right now so this video reaches more people who need to see it. Let's dive in. When a major court decision influences national conversation, the next step is usually political response. Lawmakers may introduce new proposals, revise existing ones, or request further clarification on how current laws should be interpreted. That back and forth is normal in the U.S. system. It's designed that way on purpose. Checks and balances ensure that no single branch makes sweeping financial decisions alone. So even if stimulus discussions gain momentum, they still must move through Congress before anything becomes official. That means public debate plays a role, media coverage plays a role, voter interest plays a role. When enough attention builds around a topic, it becomes harder for policymakers to ignore. That's why headlines matter, even if they don't equal immediate action. They signal public focus. And public focus often drives legislative priority. Now, let's talk about expectations. Whenever people hear about potential payments, the first question is usually, when? Timing is always the most important part. But until a bill is introduced, passed, signed, and funded, there is no confirmed schedule. That's the reality of how federal payments work. The process requires coordination between lawmakers, budget planners, and administrative agencies. Each step takes time. Another question people ask is, who would qualify? That would depend entirely on the structure of any future proposal. Past stimulus programs had specific eligibility requirements based on income levels, tax filings, and dependent status. If a new payment were ever approved, it would likely include similar guidelines. But again, those details only exist once formal legislation is written. It's also important to consider funding. Any large-scale payment requires a source of funds. That could come from budget reallocations, surplus allocations, or other legislative adjustments. Without funding, no program can move forward. That's why serious proposals always include financial planning components. Now let's bring this back to you personally. The smartest approach during moments like this is preparation without assumption. That means keeping your financial documents organized, staying current on tax filings, and ensuring your banking information is accurate if you receive federal benefits. If anything ever does move forward, being prepared ensures you won't face delays due to simple administrative issues. It's also wise to avoid reacting to rumors. Social media often spreads partial information quickly. Sometimes headlines are written to create urgency rather than clarity. That's why it's important to rely on verified updates and official announcements. If a real program advances, it will be widely reported by established news outlets and government channels. Let's also acknowledge something important. Discussions about stimulus payments often reflect broader economic concerns. When people talk about direct financial support, it usually signals that households are feeling pressure. Whether it's inflation, job uncertainty, or rising expenses, these conversations tend to appear during periods of financial tension. So the reappearance of this topic tells us something about the national mood, even if it doesn't confirm a final outcome. Staying calm and informed gives you an advantage. Instead of reacting emotionally to every headline, you can evaluate developments logically. Ask yourself, is this an official announcement? Is there signed legislation? Has funding been allocated? If the answer is no, then it's still in the discussion stage. That doesn't mean it's unimportant. It simply means it's not finalized. As we continue to monitor updates, remember that policy shifts often unfold gradually. Early signals appear first, then proposals follow, then negotiations happen. Only after that do votes occur. And finally, implementation begins. That step-by-step process protects both the system and the public. If anything changes regarding $2,000 payments, the information will move quickly through major news networks and official statements. Until that happens, the best strategy is awareness. Keep informed, but avoid speculation. We'll continue tracking developments and breaking down updates in simple language so you always understand what's confirmed versus what's being discussed. Financial news can feel overwhelming, but when explained clearly, it becomes manageable. For now, the key message is this: the conversation has restarted, attention has increased, and the topic is active again. That's significant. But active discussion is not the same as approved payments. Understanding that distinction keeps you informed without confusion. Before we wrap up, let's think about why stories like this spread so quickly. The idea of $2,000 stimulus checks immediately captures attention because it connects directly to everyday life. People imagine paying bills, reducing debt, buying groceries, or building savings. That emotional connection is powerful. And in the digital age, emotional headlines travel faster than detailed explanations. That's why it's so important to pause, listen carefully, and understand the full context before forming conclusions. If future developments truly move forward, there will be clear steps announced publicly. You won't need to guess, you won't need to rely on rumors. Official channels will provide eligibility details, payment timelines, and instructions. Until then, staying informed is the best way to avoid confusion. It's also worth remembering that financial decisions should never depend on speculation. Even if discussions continue, your long-term stability should remain your priority. Focus on budgeting wisely, keeping emergency savings if possible, and monitoring reliable updates. That way, no matter what happens with any proposal, you are already prepared. We will continue watching this story closely. If there are verified changes, confirmed votes, or official announcements, I'll break them down clearly so you know exactly what is real and what it means for you. No hype, no confusion, just straightforward information. And if you want to stay updated on future developments like this, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss important updates. I'll keep bringing you clear explanations whenever new financial news breaks. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next update.